Located in the Balkan Peninsula, Bosnia-Herzegovina used to be a region with a Muslim majority, a legacy of the Turkish Ottoman Empire. Islamic influence can be felt all over Bosnia. Among them is the central region of Travnik, which is situated about 90 kilometers to the west of Sarajevo. Even today, Islam still is alive and thriving, practiced by Muslim Bosnians as a way of life and safeguarded. Islam arrived here through a peaceful means: trade. The Plava Voda, or Blue Water, was once a trade route for trading ships from Travnik to Dubrovnik since the rule of the Byzantines until the rule of the Ottomans. Trade has transformed Travnik into a rich city, so much so that it became well known as a profitable trading destination. As the influence of Islam grew, the Byzantines had to retreat, thus paving the way for the Ottoman Empire to gain a foothold in Travnik. The development and economic progress of Travnik attracted the attention of the Khalifa of the Ottoman Empire in Istanbul, and it became the location of choice for the governor's official residence during the 17th to the 19th centuries. Although the Muslims of the Balkans are surrounded by other non-Muslim nations, Islam in Travnik is as strong as ever. Its continuity is assured by the existence of many Islamic educational institutions, which continue to give birth to learned Muslims with high commitments towards their religion. For the Bosnian Muslims, especially in Travnik, the Bosnian War has strengthened their Islamic spiritual strength. Today, even though the war is over, their fighting spirit still soars. They continue their fight in developing themselves and their ethnic group by enhancing their knowledge. The strengthening of knowledge among the younger Bosnian Muslim generations is given the highest priority in order to redevelop a nation which has succumbed to war. So is the development of faith. This religious school, which was established by Elsai Ibrahim Pasha, the representative from the Ottoman Empire in 1706, has become an inspiration to the Muslims of Travnik. The Muslims here believe that knowledge which comes from revelation must be studied to return the dignity of the Muslims, which have been dulled during the rule of the communists. The older generation of Bosnian Muslims have faced many challenges in defending the faith during the communist era. Beliefs which were in opposition to Islam could only be nullified with faith and knowledge. Thus, the Elsai Ibrahim Religious School has become the choice for the Muslims in Travnik. For countless years, this educational institution has sown the true knowledge of Islam to generations after generations of Muslims here. Today, the minds and souls of the students here are sown with the seed of faith and Islam, a preparation against future challenges. To the Bosnians, the war has given them lessons which they would never forget. It is clear that the spirit of Islam will not be extinguished from their bosoms. Here, Islamic knowledge is made the foundation of its syllabus, upon which modern knowledge is built. This small school with 150 students is managed by teachers who were graduates from Middle Eastern universities and Europe. It is also helped by some volunteers. They view their work as contributions to their beloved nation and religion, adding substance to the independence and peace of Bosnia-Herzegovina, which was achieved through blood and tears. Their efforts to raise the status of Islam as a way of life are still continued. They share the same goal with the Muslim missionaries of old. The founder of the school, Elsai Ibrahim Pasha, was an educationist who played an important role in the development of knowledge in Travnik. The friendliness and hospitality of the Travnik locals mirror the Muslim cultural heritage, which is still strong in the Balkan region. It has been the tradition here to give guests a warm welcome and to entertain them in the best possible manner. Many mosques were destroyed during the war, which started in the beginning years of the last decade of the 20th century. As soon as the war was over, work was started to rebuild the mosques with the help of other Muslim nations. During the war, not only were hundreds of mosques destroyed, but thousands of Muslims were also martyred in their fight to defend their nation's sovereignty. This mosque was built in 1997. About half of the cost of building it was donated by the government of Malaysia. Although they live meager lives after the war, the Bosnian Muslims are proud of their faith and they have defended it from generation to generation. The influence of the Ottoman Empire began here as early as in 1363 AD and has produced a group of people who adhered to Allah's commands. The Bosnian Muslims did not regard their nation as being colonized by Turks. Instead, they are thankful that their ancestors were introduced to Islam. The Ottoman government was said to have practiced a just system, which has succeeded in uniting the different ethnic groups in this region. The Friday prayers give the opportunity for this young imam to deliver the Friday sermon to the congregation. They are invited to unite under the name of Islam. This is the typical view every Friday in each mosque in Bosnia. The previous war might have been a contributing factor in making the Muslims here closer to Allah. History has proven that the real strength of the Muslims is not based on their quantity nor their weaponry. As has been told in the Holy Quran, a struggle which is based on strong faith and the fear of Allah has been promised victory by Allah, even when the group is opposed by a much larger number of opponents, as was illustrated in the Battle of Badr. To the Bosnian people, although the war is over, their struggle to make Islam sovereign here has not ended yet. Travnik has seen Bosnia in several series of closely fought battles. The suffering caused by war has not extinguished the light of faith, which gained a foothold here 600 years ago. Instead, it has strengthened the spirit of Islam among the citizens. Today, Travnik lives on, continuing its existence after being insolently assaulted by a vicious neighbor. Slowly, yet surely, the spirit of Islam will rise again to its full glory. Three centuries under the rule of the Turkish sultans, Travnik was once named European Istanbul because its thriving city has many beautiful mosques. It is said that more than 100 mosques were built within the city. This is the Sulayman Mosque, built during the reign of Sultan Sulayman the Great. It is considered as the oldest mosque in Travnik. This landmark was first revamped by the governor of Bosnia, named Sopa Salam Kamil Ahmad Pasha, in 1757 AD. It was once burned down by the enemies of Islam in 1815, then restored in 1839. The restoration cost was borne by Aisha Hanuma Hafizadeh, a local woman who was very influential. The Sulayman Mosque is also used as a center for studies and for Muslim community activities in the city. To the Travnik Muslims, the Sulayman Mosque is like the pulse of the community. Sultan Sulayman was prominently known as Al-Qanuni, which means the lawmaker. He was an Ottoman ruler who was really concerned about Islam and its dissemination in his region. Many mosques were built during his time. They served as institutions which catalyzed the strength of the Muslim community. The Turkish architecture was spread to the far corners of its empire and is visible until today. The design of this mihrab, prayer niche, looks like a turban, the official headdress of the Ottoman sultans of old. A historical fact which could not be denied is that since the first mosque was built by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in Quba, its function has continued until today. Although the Travnik of today is not as buoyant as before the war, the situation today is much better than the sound and sight of bombs and cannons a decade ago.
Yes, I see.
Centuries ago, the word of Islam gained a foothold in this region with the arrival of Sultan Muhammad al-Fatih through Yaisi to introduce Islam and its civilization. Later, mystical movements were also spread among the Muslims. The center of the Naqshbandiya spiritual movement, also called Taqiyya, is situated on top of this hill, Vranika Hill, about 1,600 meters above the sea level. The Vokeli village, located on the peak of the peaceful Vranika Hill, became the choice for a spiritual center since 1780. Zawiya, the place where the movement's members congregate, was established by a mystic named Sheikh Hussein in 1195. According to one member here, during the Bosnian War, the Muslims gave their all in fighting the Serbs and the Croats, and the efforts to conquer this region were broken down.
We were in harmony, lived with Catholics, with all Christians, and we didn't ask the same thing as I said.
Taqiya produced many Bosnian Muslim fighters who have very high courage due to their strong faith in Islam.
Ja čuvam vjeru
I keep the faith
I Kur'an.
and Quran,
Vjeru I Kur'an.
so
Do
faith and
sudnjeg,
Quran
do sudnjeg dana.
till the Qiyamah.
A
till
vi
the
čuvajte
judgment day.
odnose
And you keep the relations
I naše uvažavat, poštivat I dogovarat.
and respect ours, talk about ours, and have discussions about ours,
Ali prijateljstvo je sa prijateljima.
and have friendship with the friends.
Drugu stranu uvažavaš, poštiš, ali
The other side you
a
respect,
prijatelje sa prijateljem se prijatelji.
and
Ne
you
šta ne
have
prijatelj,
friendship
prijatelj.
only with the friends.
Moraš
You
ga
can't be
uvažavati,
friends.
ako on miruje, miruješ, a ako te dirne, onda se brani.
You can't have a friendship with the enemy. The enemy you respect. If the enemy,
The war is still very much in their minds and on their lips. They talk about lost relatives and friends who were martyred defending the religion and nation. Although committed to spiritual activities, they do not shun civilization in order to redevelop Bosnia. Although they are isolated on top of the Vranica hill, current developments have never been ignored. The fusion of Islamic and scientific knowledge has to go hand in hand so that the Bosnian Muslim community will not be left behind. They liken the two types of knowledge as a bird, which could not be able to fly with only one wing. Scientific knowledge, safely pursued with the guidance from Islamic knowledge.
he says, if you get the son, you should call him Ahmed.
To the Bosnian Muslims, Taqiya is like spring water, which quenches the thirst of the warriors' souls, fertilizes their minds, and gives fruit to their fighting spirit to resolutely face post-war challenges.